Hello everyone, I am Noa Kich. If you want to know more about Russia and you understand my English, please welcome to my channel. I hope you missed my dress in traditional style. Today we will discuss election in Belarus.
Yeah.
What emotions I have when I watch on these elections? I have impression that I watch the movie after I read the book, because what I see, it's absolutely model of that election that was in Russia 2 years ago. I see absolutely the same system. Now I will explain you everything in 10 minutes or maybe less. So look, for today you know that there is a main candidate, it's Lukashenko. There is a list of small candidates, it's different bloggers, translators, musicians, heads of small organizations like different political organizations, etc. And there are main candidates, and these main candidates, it's exactly, they are former apparatchik. It's the people who worked in state organizations. They have straight link to Lukashenko. They were obeyed to Lukashenko before. The same was in Russia. They were small candidates. Doesn't matter, nobody voted for them, only their friends, I suppose. After that, there were strong candidates, but these candidates, it were supporters of Putin, in fact. For example, who is Titov? He is the head of Union of Entrepreneurs of Russia. But it's not independent organization, it's organization who obey to Kremlin. So you can say, what about Grudinin? Yes, Grudinin, he was a strong candidate, and I think, and as I remember, he got like 12 or 15%. He was a second after Putin. But he was absolutely not danger because he had the hook. It was a hook. It was his savings in European banks. These news were published just before the day of elections. What happened after that? It means that if he won the election, he wouldn't be president anyway, because it's illegal to offer your documents to be candidate if you had these savings in European banks. Or, for example, Ksenia Sobchak. If you don't know this Ksenia Sobchak, who received a lot of votes of feminists and lesbians, she is a goddaughter of Putin, if you don't know. What about Navalny? So in Belarus there is their own Sergei Tikhanovsky. It's kind of Navalny in Russia. But now I will describe you the story with Tikhanovsky, and with Navalny you will understand immediately, because it's like Belarus, Russia under microscope. Sergei Tikhanovsky, he organized these protests during winter time. There were the protests against the integration between Russia and Belarus. Let's remind you a bit, but you can watch the video here. There were negotiations between Russia and Belarus. Lukashenko asked a discount for oil, and Putin say, okay, you will have discount if you will deserve it. If Russia and Belarus will unify, we will become the same country with the same money and the same government. And of course, Lukashenko say, no, I don't want. And there were some protests in Minsk, and they were very strange protests because there it was something incredible. It was policemen who cry like that: citizens, go home, or we will have to arrest you. Yes, he said like that. But you know Russia, you know Belarus, we don't have any freedom. If police don't like any rallies, people will be arrested immediately. The same in Russia. We are not free countries. So, as we understand that protests, that rallies in Minsk, they were supported by state. And ahead of and organizer of that protest, there was Sergei Tikhanovsky. He was convicted on 2 weeks, but he was not sent to jail. He was sent to jail at that period, short period in May, when he should send his documents to become a candidate. So it means that he can't be a candidate. Don't you remind something from Russia, all this Navalny, and how he say people don't go to elections because it's illegal elections, because I'm not candidate. Look, they forbid me to be candidate, so don't go to elections. And what it means? On our elections, we don't have, how it's called, the limit. Even if 3 people will go to election and they will vote for Putin, Putin will win. So, and if Navalny, for their supporters who are oppositioners to Putin, he explained to them, don't go to election. he's kind of useful idiot. And in fact, I understand that Navalny, he just does what he wants, but what he does, it's very useful for Putin. And the same in Belarus. This Sergei Tikhanovsky, it's very good for Lukashenko. He got all protest moods on himself. What happened a few days ago, there were investigations and research in the house of Sergei Tikhanovsky. Police found $900,000 in his house. His wife Svetlana, who is a candidate to president, because her husband can't be a candidate, so she sent her documents. So she said that I don't know what is the money. I didn't saw any money before. I didn't have them at all. So what it means, I don't know if it's true money or not money. Maybe it's police who brings this money to her, or criminal, doesn't matter. But I can imagine that all these protesters in Belarus now, they're absolutely disappointed. They have doubts. And it's the most important, what is necessary for Lukashenko, because now they have doubts. And I can imagine that it could be true. And maybe it's even Lukashenko who sends this money to Sergei Tikhanovsky, maybe not directly, maybe through any foreign organization, because I'm absolutely sure that the protests in Minsk, they were supported by officials. So we can see this show, this drama, Belarusian elections. I see absolutely a copy from Russian elections, and people will say the same as it was in Russia. They say, I can't see another candidate over Putin. Here people will say, I don't see any interesting candidates over Lukashenko. So, show must go on. I hope this video was interesting for you. Coronavirus works for Lukashenko too, because you will see just in a few months people all over the world, they begin to discuss it already, and they will discuss it more, that look, this coronavirus, our states, our presidents, they cheat us. In Russia they will say that it's oligarchs who just receive additional money on this coronavirus, small entrepreneurs just disappeared and dead, and they go to state companies to work for salary. In European countries, I'm sure that in France you discuss, because I know France, in France you will discuss that because of this coronavirus we stop with the yellow gilets. In other countries you will investigate another things, how your government or power people used this coronavirus to their purposes. So, but it will not be in Belarus like that, because in Belarus people will say, okay, we didn't have any coronavirus. For now, because Belarusian people will see that Lukashenko didn't use this pandemic for their straight purpose. Okay, he used this pandemic for kind of second step purpose, yes, but it's his game. About coronavirus, for now, in both countries, and in Russia and in Belarus, we don't know the numbers. There are some people in my circle who are infected, but the doctors stop to write this diagnosis to their cards. Now there is only pneumonia. We stop with coronavirus. Now all the numbers in Russia is minimized. I don't know how it's in Belarus, and I suppose it's the same in Belarus. We don't know the numbers anymore, because in all these oppositional Telegram channels they discuss all the time the numbers and the cases. But I suppose you don't know your real numbers in your countries too. I have impression. I hope this video was interesting for you. Thumbs up and subscribe on my channel.